very clear and apparent. The owners let it be known. We're not doing that $10.5 million cap thing y'all was talking about. Any offer y'all sent with those last two offers, y'all shouldn't have brought it in this meeting. We're not doing a $10.5 million salary cap. We're not doing a 30% revenue sharing. You wasted your time getting on a plane if that's what you show.
The owners have made it clear that they won't be implementing the $10.5 million salary cap or the 30% revenue sharing proposal. Meanwhile, the players themselves are divided. Some are ready to strike, while others prefer to accept the deal and get paid. This is exactly what happens when a negotiation unravels in real time.
Via Alexa Philippou, the WNBA and WNBPA met in New York City for about 3 hours today. The player delegation included Nneka Ogwumike, Alicia Clark, Brianna Turner, and Stephanie Dolson. Nafisa Collier and Kelsey Plum had travel issues and didn't make it to New York. Ogwumike and company declined to comment on the PA's way out.
The WNBA Players Association spent 3 intense hours face-to-face with league owners in New York City on Monday. The player delegation, which included Nneka Ogwumike, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart, and others, had been demanding this meeting for weeks. They specifically wanted Adam Silver at the table, aiming to bypass Kathy Engelbert and negotiate directly with ownership. They got exactly what they asked for, but it backfired spectacularly. According to multiple ESPN sources, the owners walked in and immediately rejected the players' latest proposal. No $10.5 million salary cap, no 30% revenue share. The message was clear. If that's what you brought to the table, getting on a plane for this meeting was a complete waste of time.
Clear, let me see this right here, that the players, they was doing this whole, we're on one front, we're all agreed and we're all in for everything. We're on the same page. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. And now it's coming out that the owners they stood their ground in this meeting and the players are now divided.
Here's where things get complicated. For months, the WNBA Players Association has projected a united front. We stand together. We won't budge. We authorize the executive committee to call a strike if necessary. Solidarity, they said, across the board. But behind closed doors, the story is very different. ESPN reports a strong debate within the 7-member executive committee itself, revealing not just disagreement among rank-and-file players, but division at the highest level of union leadership. Some members believe now is the moment to fundamentally change the league's revenue-sharing model and that players shouldn't compromise further. Others argue that the players have already made significant gains and are closer to a deal than they realize. In short, some want to strike, some want to sign, and the owners are fully aware of the split.
Divided. Y'all lied. Y'all said y'all all was on the same page. Y'all said that, we got this under control. What? We will not effing move. In the words of Natasha Clark, we will not effing move. We will not effing move. Well, your ass about to get moved over. Another group says that though there are still some matters to be negotiated, the players have already gained significant ground and are closer to a deal.
Think about what this means strategically. The players spent months building leverage. They authorized a strike, went public with their demands, and pushed for a direct meeting with ownership, believing they had the upper hand. But the owners simply called their bluff, and now internal divisions are leaking to the media. That's no coincidence. When a negotiating position starts to crumble, information begins to flow, sources start talking, and cracks become visible. Nneka Ogwumike walked out of Monday's meeting and declined to comment, which says everything about how it went. When negotiations are going well, union leaders are eager to brief the media. When they go poorly, all you get is silence.
But it's clear that some of y'all don't. It's clear. So there seems to be a real divide amongst the players here. And let's be real, am I surprised? No. Not surprised by this. We're not surprised by this. At the end of the day, these players have done everything they can to push the fans away and all of this stuff. And now, you got Nneka Ogwumike saying she has no comment on this.
Let's break down the money on the table, because this is where the conflict of interest becomes impossible to ignore. Under the current CBA proposal, top WNBA players could sign contracts worth $400,000 to $500,000 per season. For most players, that's life-changing money, financial security, and the chance to stop playing overseas in the winter. But not everyone benefits equally from a strike. Players like Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier have lucrative deals. In other leagues, including substantial substantial salaries and equity stakes, while others, like Nneka Ogum-McKay and Kelsey Mitchell, earn from alternative leagues such as Project B and can afford to miss a season. Then there are mid-tier players like Sophie Cunningham, who don't have million-dollar endorsements or ownership stakes. Do you think they want to turn down $400,000 just to go on strike? Absolutely not.
Y'all thought Adam was going to bend the knee and allow the other owners to go into a $700 million hole for y'all? Absolutely not, man. Are y'all crazy? This is crazy. The WNBA and WNBPA met for 3 hours. The players, so Nneka was there, Alicia Clark was there, Brianna Turner was there. Can we please get Brianna Turner off the Indiana Fever? Please get this lady off the Indiana Fever. Steph Dolson.
The owners understand this dynamic perfectly. They know the union isn't as unified as it claims to be, and they know that with each passing week without a deal, more players will begin questioning whether a strike is worth it. They also recognize that players like Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier could actually benefit from a WNBA work stoppage, as it would draw more attention and talent to Unrivaled. That's why the owners drew a hard line in Monday's meeting. They aren't negotiating against a unified front. They're negotiating against a fractured coalition with competing interests, and they're betting the players will break before the owners do. The players requested this face-to-face meeting, thinking direct access to ownership would shift the balance. They believed Adam Silver would intervene on their behalf and that NBA owners would be more sympathetic than Kathy Engelbert. They were wrong. NBA owners aren't going to put their franchises $700 million in debt just to meet the players' demands. That's not how business works, that's not how negotiations work, and the players just learned that lesson the hard way.
Stuff maybe, so it probably was a good thing that the weather didn't allow them to get there. But, and you see, shout out to my boy Shane GT, man. We got to go live. He said WNBPA has horrible representation. Look, probably for the best fee didn't make it. She's not exactly disciplined in her messaging. So the delegation was made up of, in the grand scheme of things, nobody that has a following or even a big name, just people you would pass on in the street and not even recognize. Smart. Yeah. So that's what it is, man. But get down in the comments. Let me know what y'all.
Caitlin Clark made it clear weeks ago that both sides need to compromise to get a deal done. She wasn't speaking to the owners. She was addressing the Players Association because she understands something the executive committee seems to have missed. The WNBA's leverage isn't infinite. The league is growing, but it isn't profitable yet. Ratings are up because of a handful of stars, not because of broad systemic popularity. And if those stars sit out a season, there's no guarantee the audience will return. The players point to record viewership as proof they deserve a bigger share, but the owners are focused on the actual financials. Revenue is up, but so are costs. Expansion requires massive capital investment, and new media deals are still in negotiation. The players want salaries based on projected future revenue, while the owners want them based on current actual revenue. That's the fundamental disconnect. Now, the players face urgent decisions. Training camps are weeks away, rosters need to be finalized, sponsors need certainty, and broadcast partners need schedules. Every day without a deal weakens the players' position as more begin calculating the trade-off. $400,000 for 5 months of work or $0 in the hope a strike forces concessions. The executive committee authorized a strike, but it requires a majority of players to honor it. If even 20-30% break ranks, the strike fails, the union fractures, and leverage is lost. The committee pushed hard for maximum demands, built expectations, went public with frustrations, and now the owners aren't blinking. They must either climb down and accept a compromise, which looks weak, or follow through on a strike, which risks splitting the union and undoing years of progress. The owners understand this perfectly. They know the union isn't as unified as it claims, and that some players could benefit from a stoppage that drives attention to alternative leagues like Unrivaled. That's why they drew a hard line in Monday's meeting. They aren't negotiating. They're forcing the players to make a choice, take the deal or risk a strike that may not hold together. The timing makes it even more critical. The league is riding unprecedented momentum, driven by Caitlin Clark's rookie season, the excitement of new stars like Angel Reese and Cameron Brink, and rising ratings. A strike could destroy that momentum, shift the narrative to labor disputes, alienate casual fans, and hand leverage to competing leagues. The players believed they were negotiating from strength. thinking sold-out arenas and record ratings gave them leverage. The owners proved that leverage only matters if it's used, and they doubt the union will actually sit out a season. Mid-tier players may break ranks and take the deal, and internal divisions are already leaking to the media. Monday's meeting, intended as a breakthrough, backfired. The owners didn't cave, divisions became public, and time is running out. Now the players must decide whether to accept a significant improvement over the current CBA or risk everything, on a strike that may fracture the union and derail the league's growth. The next few weeks will be decisive, and the question remains: do the players take the deal and move on, or follow through on the strike and gamble everything?